Good morning. I am dropping in to do a brief commentary on the Gangsta Grannies Global. It is the 12th of August. Good morning, Miss B. Um, we are almost at the end of their journey. They are starting to consider that they're going home soon, and we are winding it down with much celebration. Um, yesterday morning, we finished step 5A, and they are on the last step of this process, step 5B. And we had a moment of celebration and really just honoring. Oh, excuse me. I'm not fully awake this morning. I am. I've been up for about an hour, but being up and being in motion are two different things sometimes on a whole lot of days. So I'm just getting in motion this morning. So finishing up 5A. Um, 5A really looks at the costs in a real deep way. 5A asks them to look at all of the losses that these situations have happened, that have created, and to identify where the losses come from. Um, that is heavy sometimes. When we look at the cumulative, the ladies have done, I'm eating cacao, and I feel like I have a piece of it stuck in my tooth. Um, Part of yesterday, um, cacao ceremony, that was part of our thing. We have some fresh cacao, dried cacao that we got from the market. Oftentimes I get the fruit, and yesterday morning I roasted um, some, and that was part of the cacao ceremony, aka hot chocolate. Really, really, really good hot chocolate. Um, yeah, but losses. Where was I at? Losses. Really looking at where situations in life have created trauma and who's responsible. There were quite a few of their losses that were attributable to somebody else, but there were quite a few of their losses that were attributed to their behavior. And that really sometimes is heavy to hold. The things I did. Yes, I was surviving, but the things I did created trauma in my life. And so sitting with that had been part of the 5A step. And we did our final healing circle, our Sankofa circle yesterday. And it really was a culmination of that. And so we're really proud of their work, really honoring the work of healing. Um, and then yesterday I shared a song, um, an artist that's relatively new to me, I am DDB, and Masego, who is not, who's very familiar to me. It's a song of all things called Rasta Pasta. And there's a line in that song that says, "Are you the change or do you fit the mold?" And it's talking about, I feel like I had that cacao in my mouth, my braces now. Yeah, I do. Can't fix it. Can't fix it. Find my brush. This will just irritate me because I feel it. But one of the lines in the song says, "Are you the change or do you fit the mold?" And we really talked about being the change and what that really means from a healing perspective. That part of the change that's happening is self-love, worthiness. Your vision of worthiness is changing. Um, Being able to see change in your own life, being able to see some of the values that they have been living and seeing a change happen in that is really about what this work is, the transformation, um, breaking the molds. We talked about that. One of the ladies said, speak it up, speaking my mind, speaking my truth. Pardon me. Okay. Well, that was just irritating me every time I saw it. It's like having spinach or something in your teeth. I go in to get my braces adjusted tomorrow, so it's probably going to be a soup week the rest of the week. Almost done with these. But like changing, breaking the molds that you had in your life. And one of them shared, speaking my mind, speaking up, saying what I mean. Not the word cowering down where you kind of pull back, but making yourself small in some regard. I don't want to say this. I don't want to, whatever. And so seeing that mold really breaking, being able to identify what situations have cost, and being able to look forward into life and say, I'm going to make some changes because this behavior pattern of my own has cost me dearly. And so I shared about that song and one of the writings that I've done related to that really talks about connection and communion with each other and community and growth. So much of those things that happen around the kitchen table, and really talked about, the spiritual connectedness of that it's not church in the traditional sense, but like life. It's supposed to be those moments of church. So the concept of church, the spiritual connection of people, people living their purpose and connecting together, finding the connection points in their life. That is the true sense of that spiritual community that we need. We need to thrive. We talked about community and the way it's supporting transformation. In this particular way, they both talked about this helping with some transformation for them to change some of the ways that they have lived life, where fear, guilt, and insecurity really was in control, and how this process is helping them to reduce the self-created trauma in their life. It's giving them some new tools in their toolbox for how to live. And then we talked about equipping, that this is intentionally the work of giving people tools on how to be socially sustainable. How can we do life better? How can we do life together? Because we need each other, but we don't need each other's damage. If we just operate in our connection as we are sometimes, in our unhealed states, then our interaction, our very interaction with each other makes us both worse. And we're seeing that in community. It's not that we don't have it. We have community. It just is not working real well for us. The quality of our community has deteriorated. And this is about saying that needs to change. We need community. We need community. Doing life alone, I don't think it's what we're meant to be. But doing life where community becomes only traumatizing or mostly traumatizing makes us all worse. So what about doing the opposite? Like it's just basic math. Do the opposite. Do the inverse. What if we were healing in community? Community would get better. And these ladies have taken a serious commitment to saying the part of community that I'm going to work on, I'm going to dedicate some quality time to working on, is the me part of community. And so the ladies have gone through the steps. They've gone through step one, what actually happened, putting words to our pain, the sources of our pain. What was I feeling? What am I feeling about these incidents in my life? Just facts. And learning to sit with those emotions, to feel whatever it is you feel with no judgment, no guilt. And then we moved from there into additional information finding. What are the values at play in this situation? What are the values in play that just don't agree with my values? And what are my values? And they sat with that. And then they were asked to look at how they responded What did they do to survive these situations? In some cases, what were their drugs of choice? Behavioral, oftentimes at first. And when those stop working, we reach for other, stronger drugs of choice to help us avoid feeling the fear and the insecurity and the guilt. And then they were asked to turn the mirror on themselves. What about my responses? What were the values behind my responses? And were any of the values behind my responses conflicting with values that I actually hold to be true or relevant for living my life? And what did this cost me? And so they've made it that far in the process. And now that they have the relevant facts on the table about these incidents, now the ask is for them to go back now and reanalyze. With the information that's on the table, go back and reanalyze these situations that have happened and have caused trauma. You've already taken the life currency from you. You've already spent the energy on these situations. Now go get some value. Go get some value from it. Get your money's worth. Find the wisdom, find the gold, find the truth, find the clarity now that you have the facts of the scenario, the relevant facts on the table. And so the ladies will be working on that. We'll have our final Sankofa circle and reading on Thursday, if not before, and really celebrate the work that they've done this month. They both have said that they're going to go home changed. Transformation is what this is about. Transformation that frees them. This isn't a hand-holding kind of experience in a certain regard, because they're going to go home. And LaRahna's going to be here in Ecuador, I promise you, or beyond. And these will be tools that they will be able to choose from in their toolbox for living life. This does not give them healing. It gives them tools so that they can do the work of healing in their own life. This has given them 30 days where they've got concentrated time to do that work, to invest in themselves and their healing. They've had some support, some coaching support to guide them through the process, but they're doing the work, not me. I can't do the healing work for anyone else. It would be too hard, too ineffective, and too exhausting to try. But this is equipping them with the tools for transformation in their own life. That's important to me. Not creating situations where we create dependency. Your healing relies on me. That doesn't feel good to me. Doesn't feel sustainable. The intensive is about giving them enough support so they learn the process. They see the value in the process. They see the results of the process when it's used in their own life. They're seeing the use of it even while they're here. The interactions that they're having. That these tools give them some equipment, some methods for processing life in ways that will help them get to healed resolution. And it's just like Spanish, poco a poco, little by little, we begin to heal the layers that have caused us harm and that may sometimes continue to cause us harm. Heal the layers of fear and insecurity and guilt. And as that's happening, it frees up energy. It frees up energy to be used in other places. And that yesterday was part of the celebration. Rita had mentioned a project honoring her grandmother that would be 100 years old this year, Theodosia. I think I got that right. And one of the projects was this collection of history. That's my wheelbase. I worked as a historian collecting the oral history of one of the historically Black communities, one of the post-Reconstruction communities, a recognized African-American settlement called Pleasant Hill in Macon, Georgia. And it sparked in me the realization that it's history when we write it down. Oral history is great, but those become fading memories as the generations pass away. But writing it down makes it history, literally. It's history when it's written, when it's documented, when it's collected. Memories fade, but those written words, the archive of the information, is relevant, especially when people who are connected to the information document it. They pick up things that are important that historian may not, because it may not be relevant. We've seen that. Those people, those situations weren't important, so we didn't collect the information about them. And she has chosen, felt inspired to collect the information and the stories about her grandmother, Theodosia. And yesterday, as we have finished up the work and freed up some energy, she was able to complete this book. The ebook is published online. The print book will take a few more days for it to be available, but it's in motion. She has submitted it through Amazon's platform so that print copies can be purchased soon. And like that is the celebration. She may share a clip of the video. We may share it later on. We'll see. But one of my questions to her was like, how does that feel? And it was like exhilarated. And it's like, what's the steps we've been learning? What are the values behind this? I want to live life doing things that I want to do, doing things that I'm passionate about. Well, did this align with your values? Yes. And how did that feel? Amazing. Like doing the things in life that you're passionate about. Like literally, what if you woke up and life was about doing the things you feel called to do? You feel inspired to do, that you might be really passionate about doing. What would life feel like? Amazing, joyful. And part of this is about saying, let's align life with that. What stops me from doing that? Fear. She and I have talked about some of the fears, insecurity, really. I didn't know how to do it, didn't think that I could do it. Ooh, that's some old fears about feeling incompetent. Are you competent? She said, no, I don't know how to do some of this stuff. No, I'm not competent. Well, that's the truth. What do you normally do when you're not competent? She says, I go get information. I go research and figure out how to do it. I go find some resources. Why isn't that happening here? Ooh, because there's some wounds there that make me operate outside of my normal mode. Normally, when I don't know something, I go get the information. I go find out. And overcoming those insecurities, maybe fear as well. And then you go do that thing that you thought you couldn't do. And that too is like the healing journey. These places in my life I thought I couldn't go. These things I haven't talked about because I didn't think I could go there. I didn't think I could deal with the emotional fallout of going there, of speaking my truth, of putting it in words, of writing it on paper in journals that someone might see. And then saying, but I did that thing that seemed impossible. And it gave me freedom. It gave me clarity. There's something about doing it, the work of healing, doing it. Because if you do it, you realize you can do it. In finishing this book, realizing that she could. You might need some YouTube videos, you might need some help, but you can do this thing. Healing, sitting with some deep hurts, and processing them and then realizing you can leaves them with a different level of their own capacity. They'll leave here knowing they have greater capacity than they thought they did coming in. And so they're almost done. Step 5B is what they're working on. Today's the 12th. Wida leaves out on the 15th. Danielle leaves out on the 17th. They're almost at the end, but they will leave changed. And for me, it's a joy to be able to watch transformation happen in real time. So I'm glad to be a part of the journey. That's all I got for check-in this morning. How can you connect? Email friends@nowastedtime.com. I put the websites in the link, gangstagranniesglobal.com. You can find the links to the Gangsta Grannies that have been a part of this initiative. As we wind down this season, the Heal Together programming, and get ready for next season's programming. I'm excited about that too, but I'm excited to see the ending of this season's work with these older women. You can find more information about the International Welcome Center at globalundergroundrailroad.com. The work of helping us move into the new paradigm, a new level of freedom in our lives. Programs, opportunities to come and be a part of the programming Healing First, whether it be the week-long healing vacation retreats or the month-long sabbaticals or our upcoming Umbrella House program for those interested in doing this work over a longer period of residency. And we've got a healing vacation retreat. I think I've talked about it most mornings. I've tried to remember. The Soul Safari is a healing vacation retreat. The excursions will be different. The location will be different, but it will be exciting. We're going to Kitale, Kenya, November 6th through the 13th. It straddles that holiday in November. I think that's Veterans Day. I think that's the holiday in November that it straddles, U.S. holiday. And we'd love to have you come and participate with that. We'll be working with leaders from the African continent, Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda. And so we will all be healing together. And I'm excited about that. The collaboration with Tabasamu Africa Hub from Kitale, Kenya. Davi Mosey, American who's been living in Ghana. Just really excited about being able to go and share this work with leaders who are working with our next generation, the youth in that African region. And so we'd love to have you come along with us. We'd love to have you get your spot booked. Part of the funds raised from this retreat help us to offset the costs of the training for the African leaders and help us make it sustainable. We'd love to do these kind of programs again whenever the opportunities come up. And so I'm grateful. We'd love to have you come along with us to Kitale, Kenya. I am super excited about that upcoming event. And that's what I got. NoWastedTime.com is our collaborative page to learn more about some of our philosophy, some of the other things that we're doing, access some free resources, some of the videos and training. The websites have links to the books, the social text series. There's 3 so far in that series that you can check into. And by all means, commit to healing first. It really is the best pathway to freedom in life. If you need help, reach out. I think I'm going back to bed. I want to go get some potatoes from the store, but the one that I usually get them from is not open. The house helper comes this morning, and we usually fix breakfast and have breakfast together when she comes. And I'm thinking potatoes and eggs. Oh, I got those puppuccinos. Oh, maybe I'll do that. We'll see. It's a new vegetable that I'm working with. Come to find out, it's taro, which I still haven't used that much, but maybe I'll use that for breakfast puppuccinos, see how those play out. Yesterday, we were using the oca. We had oca colada, with our French toast yesterday morning. So we're eating good. They're going to miss this Cuenca food. They're going to miss these Cuenca mercados when they go back home. Yes, thank you, Miss B. Congratulations to the ladies. We honor the work of healing. I think I'm going to have some tea, maybe with a side of coffee. I might go back into lounge mode for another hour or so before I get in motion today. We do not have circle time this morning. So everybody's kind of chilling, see what they're going to do, see if they're going to get out in town and go play today. I don't really know. We'll see. I know Weed has been, said she's going to track down some chocolate, the chocolate from Ecuador. Like, don't come and not get the chocolate and the Tokia straw hats. So maybe they'll work those into the next couple of days, some of their other sightseeing as the load is lifting. Yeah, and I'll check in. Got a few more days. All right, that's all I got for real. I'm rambling now. That early morning ramble. Reach out, healing first. Great strategy for living life free. And live life fully today. Have a great day.